Yeah, I agree with Costa. We used to have an ROI calculator, and I actually tried to implement it myself, but it's just so sophisticated and complex, especially with what we do, because it's all very situational. There are so many automation cases that you can apply, and everyone loves ROI differently, right? It depends who you're talking to. If you talk to an automator ROI will be delivered the code, right? So if I don't need to spend a couple hours figuring out algorithm for if statements here and rich logic, right? Copilot is going to do it for me. This is a clear ROI. ROI for a manager is how much automation you can deliver for your particular testing. And ROI for executive for C-level will be how many man hours can we save? So this way or another, it's very simple. It comes to the point of what are you interested? How quick do you need to deliver your goal? And it's always achievable. You can deliver the small steps, as Costa say.
Yeah, I think one of the other things too that's important with ROI is the timeline. I think a lot of business owners and C-levels expect faster ROI, right? The point where you get to the break-even point. And we're finding, that's not the case exactly, right? Some maybe might have unrealistic expectations like 6 to 9 months, which is completely unrealistic. Which is why I like to I have standardized myself on a 3-year ROI model, right? So not necessarily looking at the break-even point, but let's just look at what ROI looks like over the span of 3 years, right? And if you keep that as a standard, then, at some point you can say, okay, 18 months is the break-even, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. But what is your true ROI in that over that 3-year period? And, what are you, when you're getting into the positive, when you're getting into the going from red to black, right? With ROI, it makes it, looking at it holistically, makes it a better, analysis of the statistics, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
human nature. How many people can go for 3 years? They get a consultant in, they automate, everything's running, consultant goes away, new consultant comes in, automate, looks great, the grades goes down, and automation is garbage all of a sudden. Same thing with AI.
Make sure you come as you call.
I mean, that's a great point and that's something also, I know you didn't have it as a question, but what I'm seeing out there, what's interesting is, and I think this is also contributing to the 95% AI pilots have failed, the MIT study. Some companies are implementing the right use case, but the users aren't using it. So you remember back in the day, when in the 90s and the early 2000s, when people would say, oh, there's this stuff, it's automation, it's really great. And then you would throw it out there and the company would buy all these licenses and it would just sit on the shelf.
Yes.
Nobody would use it.
Literally sit on the shelf. Shelfware was a real thing.
Yeah.
I found a box. What is this? Ooh, HP, Mercury.
Right.
Windrunner.
We're seeing a lot of that with AI, right? We're creating these cool AI agents and customers, there's no adoption. And so we're digging into that to see, well, why is that? And some of it is fear. They're fearful. The folks that were throwing this into their laps. Again, this is one of many factors. There's lots of reasons, but one of the biggest factors is there's fear that this is going to replace me, right? So I'm embracing the thing that's going to be my career ender, right? So and there's other reasons too, but it's a little more. The moral is, the point is it's a little more complicated this time around, right? Before it was shelfware because maybe the technical barrier was too high.
Right.
There were other concerns. Now we have this thing that could literally replace me. So there's other factors.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think the replacement factor also depends on the leadership. If the leadership going to say, guys, we're going to adopt this wonderful AI technology, not to replace you, but to augment you with the automation. And that's more education for the executive. What technology can do for your organization, right? And this is when executives should talk to one another. VP of DevOps should talk to VP of Business Operations, right? And say, hey, buddy, what can we do for you? We got the number of man hours released. This wonderful technology that can automate it quick. We're doing it now. So this kind of conversation should be constantly happening. Makes sense? I can tell you as a tooler, Costa, I know that you've been around. You used to consume tools and services, and now you deliver them. But as a tooler, I learned for over 15 years on the market, as a product from services, only 20% of the software that we develop is being used. And it's not my statistics. It's an overall statistic. And this is why we would offer full-time ZAP expert to our customers. I want to give it at no cost with cross-discipline, anything ZAPTEST expert to work with them every day as a full-time consultant to hold their hand to explain. I used to teach classes on different disciplines and products right around the country because we did a good job explaining and teaching people how to use the technology. And this is what we do as a toolers. We teach an AI to be simple for humans.
Yeah.
Sounds like an AI accountability buddy almost for ZAPTEST.
Yeah, it is. That's something unique for sure. I mean, I like seeing that. That's. I don't know of any other tool vendor that does that actually. So that's pretty cool. The other thing I was going to just kind of mention is, there's that side of it, right, which is trying to pull and monitor and encourage adoption, right? Then there's the other extreme end, which Accenture did recently, and they had these huge layoffs, right, where they said these people were not AI ready. So there's that, right? If you don't embrace it, then there's the door. So pick your poison. You can embrace it now, or you can be shown the door. So very quickly people will have to figure out how to overcome this fear and just dig in.
And as always, Alex, any parting words of wisdom?
Yeah, thank you, Joe. So as a wisdom, I want to say in return of what Costa said, don't afraid of AI. Learn it, talk to your leaders, talk to your teams. Think what else can be automated with AI. There's so much potential. We're just scratching the surface. And as always, give us a chance to show ZAPTEST.AI. Be happy, and let's zap. ZAPTEST is your automation hub. From SMEs to CIOs, from test automation to RPA, it all starts with just one click.